Hello, ladies. This is Nicole Elisa, transformational love coach. And I work with women who are high achievers, who are committed to learning more and more on how to love themselves and how to create more love in their lives. I help truly empowered women to have the best love that they want and that they know that they've always deserved. So, welcome to this live stream. I am really excited to be with you here today. Please, I invite you to share this live stream with your girlfriends, with all of the other really like empowered women that you know and that are really curious to know how to truly create more love in their love lives. Like they truly want to evolve, they want to grow in their love lives. For those of you who don't know me and for to know a little bit about what we're going to talk today, I had a really rough upbringing, and my biggest lesson in life was to really learn to love myself, right? Despite of not necessarily feeling loved growing up or even knowing that my parents really loved me. Even though my parents were living together, I never really felt loved by them. In fact, they were kind of comments that were given to me at a very early age that really made me doubt that and never really allowed me to ask my parents if they loved me or not because I was too afraid to hear the answer, right? And I took that with me for many years. And it made me really uncomfortable to receive love. It wasn't until somebody told me that if I didn't really heal my love life, or I didn't heal my perceptions around love, or decided to change things around, I would end up kind of recreating the things that I saw growing up with my parents. And when that person told me that, it was a huge shock to my system. And I said, no way. A part of me, and I'm sure you know that you have that part in you where it was like so decisive, really clear about what you want, that you just say no to things and you claim that you're going to have a better life. You know, I know that you've had moments of frustration where you felt not understood, or you felt like you got sick and tired of being in the same situation and you said no more, right? I had no idea how I was going to change my love life around, but I committed. I committed to study the energy of love, understanding what really made somebody really attract love no matter what, okay? And that is really huge. You know, over the last more than 8 years, I've been studying love every single day, consistently, just really dedicating to understand what really makes somebody allow their love life to truly thrive, regardless of their past. So I want you to know that I can help you. And in today's live stream, I'm going to talk about an important topic, which is really learning how to value yourself and how to let others value you too, okay? The number one thing that I notice, and I would invite everybody that is joining here to say hello, to share with me what really brings you to this live stream. I love to connect. The more I can connect with you, the more I just flow, and I can help you more, right? It's important to connect. Love, it is about opening up and about intimacy. And sometimes I feel like people, like they're just too afraid of connect, but like this is a safe space for you to connect, right? Because that's the first step in creating something different for you in your love life, okay? So it builds trust. So the one thing that I want to say to you about valuing yourself. Valuing yourself is actually really important. Hello there. Thank you for the kisses. I received them. How do I say your name? Sane? Am I saying it correctly? Thank you so much for being here. So Sane and everybody, it's so important to know this. Valuing yourself is essential to being the woman who attracts the type of man and relationship that you want in your life. Why is that? People can pick up whether you value yourself or not, okay? Now, valuing yourself is this capacity to love yourself and to know your worth from the inside out in every level of your being. Now, some people really believe that in order for them to be valuable, they need to be valued by others. So they're in this constant pursuit of people, for like seeking for people to value them. Hello there, love. I'm so excited that you're here, right? And please let me know, which one do you relate to? So number one, either you're kind of looking for people to value you. If you didn't feel valued or loved by maybe your parents, ex-lovers, partners, husbands, etc., then you're like, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Or what did I do bad? And you're kind of questioning yourself a lot. Then there's this another group of person who knows that they're valuable, right? But the thing about it is that they can be kind of defensive about their value and their worth. Okay? It's like two sides of the same coin. Why? The person who's like, I know my value, I know my value, I know my value, but others don't like value me, or others don't see it. They can have sensitivities around their value and how they're perceived by the world. Okay? Which one do you feel that you fit in? Or is it a little bit of both, right? That when you feel like you open up, you get a little bit sensitive to the sense of like you fear maybe not being valued or not being seen by the person that you're with, right? So you get kind of agitated or anxious about really truly opening up, okay? So you have to really claim your value. I'm really curious, for those of you who are here, please share with me in the comment section, where do you fit into all of this, okay? Is it a little bit about both, or do you go more for number one or for number two? I have noticed, okay, and I'll tell you straight up, like in my life, whatever I believe of myself reflects on the outside. And that is kind of like a harsh truth if what you're believing is not supporting you. But it's also really important, empowering, if you know how to consciously kind of emanate a different energy so that it always works out in your favor. I've really seen this. So you must really know how to value yourself and let yourself really be valued by others. There's been instances in my life where I have tried to put on certain clothes. I've tried to embody like a different energy. My friends call me Nyx. So they're like, oh, like a new version of Nyx, right? And I would do all the things. But if I wasn't feeling really good about myself, not just about myself, but also about being open to other people, my reality did not reflect the positive outcome that I wanted, meaning being accepted, being recognized, being desired, etc. I had to learn how to work and how to heal and embody a new energy for myself, where I felt confident about myself, and also I felt confident about I felt confident by being loved from other people. I'm really sorry to hear that. And I am sending you all the love in the world. I really am. Like, you are worthy of love. And I'm saying that to the deepest part of my being. Everybody deserves to feel loved. And I actually know that pain. I had to work on it a lot, like I said, so I feel you. And I would love to help you, because it is really important that you shift that and you know how to release that energy from you. So for example, for those of you who have never felt loved, right? That is the pain that I had, right? My dad was living with me, but I didn't feel loved by him because I was told that he didn't love me, even though that was never the case. But I carried that with me all of my life, right? All of my life until he passed away. So I carried that kind of insecurity with me. And it is so important to release it, because maybe people have let you down. Maybe people didn't show up for you in the way that you deserved. And that can confuse you. That can make you feel nervous about opening up, right? So in those cases, for example, in mine, I could work on my self-love, my self-worth, and actually claim myself to be worthy. I had a lot of fears about what others thought of me and if they would perceive me as enough, regardless of all the success that I've achieved in my life. You know, How many of you do you relate? Like I know what it is like to be like, wow, I have achieved this amount of success, this amount of wealth, this amount of this, and maybe I don't feel good enough still. Have you ever gone through that? See, people respond to your energy. Even if you didn't feel loved growing up, or you didn't feel valuable growing up, or you've had, like, even if you didn't have that in your upbringing, you can generate that energy within you now, and you can have that kind of grounding factor inside of you. You can really have it. See, it's I would see it like people just respond to your energy. Let me put it to you in energetic terms, okay? You're doing your best at a conscious level to love yourself, to be, you know what, I am valuable, I am worthy. And you are repeating in your mind that all the time. Maybe it's just reaching to your conscious mind. So you see kind of a shift, right? But then you get hurt, or people don't value you, and you're like, why is this not working? Well, number one, and the reason, and this is going to help you have people value you, just to clarify, the number one thing that you need to do is that you need to, yes, know what you want to like create in your life. Know very clearly what is it that you want to experience. These things can become your affirmations. That is the first step. Now, number two, you must learn to let go of the old pain and the old point of view. You would be surprised at the amount of people, at least here in Panama. I feel like, depending on wherever it is that I'm talking in the world, I notice here in Panama, like people associate a lot of love with pain, okay? So that is not the truth. Love can be really joyful and pure. When I hear that, when I hear somebody equating love with pain, or they don't know if they're going to be loved or they're going to be supported, etc., it tells me that they're still carrying around the pain of the past, the imprint, the emotions of what happened, okay? So let me know if you're really getting this, or if you have any sorts of questions. Like I said, I love getting a feedback from you. That really helps me know what to say and how to support you and make this relevant for you. So here's the thing. If you are just saying affirmations, but you are still carrying the old pain, and or you're kind of still protective about yourself, defensive about yourself, not trusting about opening up, and you start to carry this energy of people have to prove to me that they're going to love me, that they're going to value me. It's good to want to protect yourself. That is a good thing to do at first. It's just the next step is that you have to start to, like I said, learn to let go of that story, of that pain. Because if you keep it with you, it doesn't matter how much you're saying that you're valuable. Your reality still kind of reflects the lack of connection and intimacy that you really want. Is this making sense? So I know it is. It's like basically you want to, you really want to learn how to let go of that pain. Why? Because that pain kind of operates as a weight that you carry with you. Okay. So your energy, if people are not conscious, and I'm going to go really metaphysical with you for you in a minute. Okay. If people are not conscious, if they're vibrating in any given moment at a really low consciousness or something, they're not really connected with themselves, people can just kind of feel this urge to respond to you according to whatever is in your energy field. Okay, I'll give you one specific example, and just stay with me here. Really pay attention to this story, because I really caught up with it one time when I was in a coffee store with a friend, where a guy suddenly out of nowhere, I think it was a guy, he started laughing really loudly, okay? Like super loud laugh, and he was so filled with joy, okay? The first second that I heard that joy, I felt joy in my being and in my body, right? And I wanted to turn around and look at the person to kind of want to celebrate with him, Okay. Then the person that he was with shushed him, like with a lot of an energy of shame. Okay. But that energy of shame was the other person's shame, right? So out of nowhere, it's interesting because joy is like the highest, one of the highest consciousness, and shame is the lowest. Okay. So in that moment, that person stopped laughing, and I could just, because I can feel the energy, that person just whoop, like what, like this. It felt the shame, it shrunk. And because of the force in which that other person kind of shamed him, people, like almost everybody at the store, at the coffee store, turned around and kind of looked at him in a kind of shaming way, myself included. I noticed my energy going from to, and when I noticed that my whole body went like that, I was like, wait, what happened? Why was I so connected to that person's happiness and I wanted to celebrate him? And what made me shift my energy like that in the spot? Okay? It's very interesting. Now, I pride myself, not pride, but you know what I'm saying? It's like I'm constantly working on myself, and I noticed it immediately. I was like, wait, something shifted. What happened? And I noticed the entire energy of the room. And I was like, wow. Like a person's energy, you know, like how people can sense your energy. And I have seen, unfortunately, in my life, how I would sort of notice people not treating me right, feeling entitled to tell me about who I should be and who I shouldn't be, and treat me sometimes in a sort of shamey way too, no matter all the work that I was doing on myself. Okay. And that had to do with something that was happening back way back in my life. Now, it wasn't until I healed that. I healed, number one, the insecurities that I had about me stepping into a greater position, etc. I worked on accepting myself, not just with my affirmations, but I healed the places in my energy, my body, my chakras, my unconscious, my nervous. I decided to heal, and this is not a lot of work, ladies. It's just it's an act of self-love. Thank you so much for sharing that. I received the love. I received the love. Thank you. Let me know what about this is connecting, because I did it that way, and what happened is that I started to heal. Okay, and I started to feel more empowered. I started to feel more alive and happy and joyful, and like who I was right. So I started to walk into places, and people would treat me with the respect and the value that I deserved finally. But when I was still just trying to use the affirmations and not understanding where my fears came from in the first place, deciding to let them go. And then the last step is to open up my heart to something even more. Then, it wasn't until I did that I actually started getting results. So I want to really repeat this. This is really important. You first, yes, want to know what are the truths that you want to have in your love life, how you want to be valued, how you want to be loved, okay? Then you must have the willingness to let go of those stories, not just at a mental level, okay? We are not just minds, okay? We are not just the mind, especially as women. Our wisdom, in most cases, like in most of our energy comes from our body. Our body it has wisdom, okay? So I don't know, who says that joke, like wisdomist? I don't know, like it's maybe from Friends or something like that. But you really want to release that, okay? Because you're carrying that energy around you, and people respond to you based on your energy. Then you have to have the willingness to open up your heart to a new experience. And there is a process of healing and of choice that it has to do with opening up your heart to a new experience. Depending on the person, in total truth and transparency, I know a lot of people who are sort of fearful of opening up their hearts, okay? They're like, oh my God, I don't want to open up my heart. And I totally get it, right? Because you might feel like you're not going to be loved, etc. And I hear you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm glad that everybody's connecting with this. And please let me know if you want me to clarify even more in one of these topics, because it's an important topic. Okay. Here's what they would do. Like, in that fear of not opening up your heart, meaning, and it's also tied to the second piece. They were also not willing to let go of the story, right? Because maybe they were afraid of it, etc. I've seen people do everything at a physical level to get a man's attention. Okay, they'll dress really pretty, they'll have super success in all areas, but when it actually came to having somebody come really close to them, because the fear was still there, I don't know where the guy would lose interest. Okay, and they're like, "What happened?" But that would kind of reinforce the belief in their mind. See, I had every reason why not to open up. In reality, it wasn't really truly that, okay? It's your defense mechanism in action. I work with people who told me, Nicole, see, I go on online dating sites and men are not saying hi to me. This is all the right reasons that I have for not opening up. People don't love me. People don't support me. People this, right? And I hear your pain. I really do. I really, really, honest to God, do. Right? Like I can feel it. And I know it's real for you, right? I know how much the pain has been real for me. Now, you have to go back to step one. You have to be clear about the type of love and the type of, how much you want to be valued by the person and by the reality that you want to create. Because unless you do that, right, if you are not clear, your fears are going to make very real the experience of you not having what you want, okay? Your fear is going to keep you there, kind of trying things. So that's why I invite you to be as much as a leader, or even bigger, more of a leader in your love life, so that all areas of your life can reflect the joy and the abundance of love that you truly deserve. Nobody can decide how worthy you are of love except you. You have to be the person that really claims it, okay? And it requires strength. It requires immense amount of self-love and radical honesty and truth with yourself. In truth, like, I remember the moment I decided to make these changes, I had a lot of anxiety. And I said, I would rather not, like, I don't care if no man chooses me, because that's what my mom would say. My mom would say. But I said, I would rather choose me. And I'm going to start doing the things that really are relevant to me and that make me feel lovable. My mom used to tell me all about that. Like, don't have natural hair. Nobody's going to love you for that. You're going to regret it. Imagine having the person you love the most tell you something like that, right? And I said, no. But here's the thing. In that moment, when I said I would rather choose me, I had two options there. And this is what I want everybody to know. You have two options too, okay? Like, you always have two options when you decide to choose yourself, okay? Yes, you choose yourself, but then you can choose to close your heart and still remain fearful and shut down emotionally, right? Like, even like mentally, like spiritually, like you shut down because you got so disappointed, right? And then you create this reality where you're kind of successful and you're just doing you and everything, but you're not having the love and the intimacy that you want. Or two, you can open up, okay, and say, I'm going to choose me. And because I am choosing me, my heart is so full of love, and I'm finally choosing me, and I'm so full of love that you open up your heart. Okay? I always recommend number two. It is also crucial and important for everybody that I recommend them to heal and let go of their stories. Some of these stories, you want to really release them from your heart and from your chest and from your hips. I know a lot of stories that when you keep them in your energy all the time, that's why maybe you are getting anxiety, or, there's studies already that show that at a repetitive thought and emotion, I follow a lot of Dr. Joe Dispenza's work, like, really can create these states in your body and your energy, right? That when you are in those spaces, okay, when you are in those spaces where you're trying to protect yourself from people, you are not really open for something new, even though you might say that you are, okay? So the process is something that is inviting you to build your power so that you can really open up, right? And you release the anxiety, you release the fear, you release all of that could be affecting you. Do you know the amount of women that I know that are like super successful business owners that are rocking more than six-figure business, seven-figure businesses, and then, you know, everything looks right, but then they're really lonely and they're kind of depressed. And because why? Like, there's just a lot of emotions there that they haven't really learned how to truly process and let go of. And really, like, we gotta have the right structure, the right programming, the right roots to open ourselves up to love again and to trust ourselves in attracting something really high vibe, high quality, like a higher quality of love. So I want you to know that you can have that love. You can have the love that you want, no matter what, no matter your past. Even if you feel like you haven't really been loved before, the question is, do you love you? Because that's all that you really need. That's the first step. If you love yourself, right, then you will choose the love that you want and you will do whatever it is that you need to do to attract it. See, even though people haven't really known how to love you in your life, the universe, God, does know how to love you. So it sounds, you know what I'm saying? It sounds like really out there, but it's not. Like I've had moments where I had to learn how to rely on the universe and on God and just, you know, let the universe help me. But then I had to step up and I needed to have the willingness to let go of the story so that others could value me and love me for who I am. See, there is a moment where it's just you, where you are the person, where you are the leader, right? Where you are choosing yourself and you're thinking about the family that you want to have and etc. Like you have to step up and you have to be the woman. It's kind of like you have to be a mother before you're a mother, okay? And treat yourself with that same level of respect. And I promise you that you can have it, okay? So I'm really curious because of everybody that is here, I'm so grateful that you're here. Please let me know any sort of questions that you have. Would you like some clarity around it? Share with me a little bit about what's going on for you because I would love to support you. Okay, how do you open up yourself? Oh, how do you open yourself up and your energy if you've been functioning by abandoning yourself? Well, what have you done so far with the awareness that you've been abandoning yourself? What kind of maybe therapy or clearing work or affirmation work have you been doing in regards to abandoning yourself? Thank you so much for that question, because that's a really beautiful question. So many times I've seen that, and this might not be your case, but if you are aware, like a lot of people will tend to do to themselves what they feared others doing to them, maybe growing up. Okay, so for example, my dad would always criticize me growing up whenever I wanted something. Okay, so, and I promised myself I would never do that. Now, years later, I found myself criticizing myself whenever I wanted something, and I was like, wow. Okay, so if in your case, I would recommend if you are abandoning yourself, it is really important that you do clearing work. How many of you are familiar with what clearing work is? So you're saying here, I've been having some counseling, so trying to turn up the volume of my feelings and intuition. Yes, good. Counseling works. Also, how do you feel when I mentioned clearing work? See, for me, when a person, I feel like I should do a really in-depth training on feelings and emotions and how we trap emotions in our body and why that is important to be released properly in our system. And I'm going to explain a little bit here, but I will do a training on this because this is highly relevant for my community, and I'm really getting this. I've been getting the download to do it. A person must learn how to release certain feelings and emotions and identities that they've had for a while or for almost all of their lives. If the idea or thought is not constructive, it's not adding life to them, right? If it makes you feel sick, if it makes you feel ill, if it makes you disconnect, if it makes you shame yourself, if it makes you want to hide, if it makes you want to shrink, or all of those feelings, if an emotion is making you do all those things and more, you want to learn how to let them go. Basically put, the only reason why I don't recommend people just to, and not just people, it depends, but it depends how strong enough of a foundation of love a person had growing up, right? That, and also not only that, but an awareness of their power that they can, sometimes just let go of something, right? But in my experience, and I'm being honest, in my experience, when it comes to these topics of love, because we have not been trained in them, and most of the things that we know about love, we kind of just guess or learn through heartache and a lot of emotional survival, kind of getting hit, kind of like you're in a playground and you get hit, and that's how you get back up and you get on the bicycle again, that kind of thing, right? So because it was not like a smooth ride, a lot of people, what they learn to do are a lot of survival techniques in love, right? So what does it mean to be survival in love? It means that you have a lot of fears attached to the choices that you're making. You have a lot of fears attached to, like, if I do this, will I lose love? If I do this, will people stop loving me? What is wrong with me? Why is it that I'm not receiving that kind of love? And these are a lot of repressed feelings and emotions. And because they are tied to you having love, and it's such a primitive thing in your mind, and it's so close to who we are, we all want to really feel connected. Sometimes just talking about these things is not enough, okay? Right? Because there's such fear kind of glued or tied to the actions that we do that the energy becomes stagnant in our bodies, right? It's kind of like you're in flight or flight for 30, 40, 50 years in an emotional way. And I kid you not, like, I've worked with so many women that are so successful in other areas, and they have learned how to live their life really powerfully that way because they had like a map and a step and a guidance of what to do. And then when it came to love, they were like, what is wrong with me? Why is it that I'm not attracting the one? Or they might not go there, but they would be like, there's something wrong with people. And then that's why I'm so lonely and I'm so lost, right? So it's either one of the two. And in that survival energy, what I notice and I see is that they're hurting themselves, okay? Underneath all the confidence, etc., and just talking about it, they're hurting themselves and they're like super tight in their energy. So we have to learn how to release these emotions, because if we don't let them go, we can talk about something, but things are not really changing, right? And that energy needs to be released. And what I see is that people they just want to take action. They just want to open up their dating profile. They want to kind of be like abrasive with the guy. They want to get the guy. They want to chase the guy. They want to do all the things, right? And then if it doesn't work, they're like, oh, it's the guy, or, that thing. But it's not that. It's just that they have a huge fear of facing a feeling, right? And because they're not facing it, there's parts of them that feel like either feeling is going to be painful. They feel like that it's going to be difficult for them. And then they only really are willing to release it until, quote unquote, S hits the fan, right? Or they're really close to birth giving age and they're anxious. But in reality, if you are not willing to release the feeling, that feeling is running you, okay? You can be doing a lot of conscious things, kind of be touching here and there, right? Like reading all the things, watching all the videos, right? But if you are not like really just stepping forth and being like, I'm done with you. Basically, I'm saying, I'm done with your ass. Like, I'm done with this thought, right? If you're not there, right, that feeling is still running you. Okay. And if it's still running you, you tend to replicate the same fear and emotion on the outside, and you attract heartache, you attract loss. But you want to heal this. Actually, releasing the feeling is not going to be painful. It's not. You know what is painful? Keeping the belief with you for all of your life. That is what's painful. The moment you release it, that's when you feel freedom and you start getting your power back. Anxiety starts to leave because there was never, the reason for you to stay with an energy of you not being good enough or not being worthy or not deserving or not being loved or really seen. Okay. It's actually more painful to stay with it than to release it. Your body's excited and it thanks you when you start to release the emotion. Does that make sense? Please let me know if it's making sense. I will do an in-depth training on this if you want me to. Let me know in the comment section if you want me to. Because it's important. How do we release, clear out negative energy, limiting beliefs? There's different modalities. I'm very intuitive, and my sessions, I work with angels and the universe in a really good way where I help you release it. Why? Because it helps you really let go. My method is not just with the angels, but it's also in a very scientific way. I help you release a lot of stuff from your nervous system. And my best recommendation when it comes to clearing these emotions and also learning how to release those emotions in an effective way from your system and in your being is to look for somebody that is going to help you release these things at every level in your being. Many people tell me when they start hearing about healing is that they get overwhelmed. So if that is you, please recognize it. Don't leave. Actually stay with me because that's the most common thing that I hear. It's not overwhelming. You don't have to figure this out all on your own. Okay? You don't. That's part of the same thinking that keeps you in fear. Okay? My recommendation is that you work with somebody that's going to help you release these emotions at every level in your being. Okay? Some people are easier to release the feelings at different levels in just one go. Other people, depending on their story and their fears, they might kind of keep it. It doesn't really matter. But you want to work with somebody that's going to be truthful, is going to tell you the truth. Is the energy totally gone or not? Then you want to also check in with yourself. Like, do I feel like it's gone? Right? Because I have worked with people where they would just do like one therapy or one session with me, and they would tell me the energy's gone. And I'll be like, but I still feel something. And if I had just believed what they said instead of trusting my gut, okay, I would have been like blaming and whatnot. But I said, no, it's not fully gone. I'm grateful for what we did here. It did something, but I know that I hadn't fully released it. Okay. So I work at every level possible that I see that I'm aware of. And I really help you release it fully. Now, you want to really look at somebody that's going to help you do that, because sometimes I'll attract people who are telling me, oh, Nicole, but I did this sort of therapy with this person who helped me like with the yoni egg or the other thing. And like, why do I have to do more? And I'm like, well, because that person only taught you how to do it that way, but you were storing it in other places. So let me help you release it. Is this making sense? So the areas where you want to look for healing and you want to release these emotions are, number one, first and foremost, you have to make the choice that you're willing to release these points of view, okay? And if it might be too daunting for you, etc., you want to look for, like, you want to feel free. You don't want to feel like fear's running you, or you're too uptight, or if you're too controlling. I'm going to do an even bigger in-depth training on this. But I want you to really get this. So you want to look to release this from your subconscious, okay? You want to know what are the specific beliefs that are getting in the way of you for this. That's why it's important to work with like a specialist or somebody that can help you identify what are your subconscious beliefs about it. Because subconscious beliefs are just that. stuff that you stored in the back of your mind, and they're unconscious. You are not aware of what they are. If you were conscious of them, they wouldn't be really fully running you. Okay. So that's one thing. Want to work with somebody that can help you identify it at a subconscious level. Then you might have that stored in your mind, in your subconscious. You might also have it stored in your heart. A lot of people store stuff in their chest. Okay. There's a lot of emotions in our heart, and you can feel it. Like, I'll give you an example. Maybe you have a fear of being rejected. So when you're really close to a guy that you like, right, you feel like a pang in your chest, or you feel like shivers all over your body. Okay. That is a sign that you're storing emotions there. And emotions many times can have a lot more power than our thoughts. Okay. So you want to release it. That's why one of the reasons why you could be feeling anxiety or loss, or, whatever feeling you're having or you're experiencing. So you want to release that from there. Another place where people tend to store energy is in their sacral chakra, which is the area of their hips. Why is that? Exactly, breathing problems that many times can be tied to anxiety and grief and feeling lonely, etc. So hip area is also really important, because on the back of our hip we have our sacrum. Okay, and our sacrum relates a lot to how we trust, okay, and how we feel safe in the world. So if you're not feeling safe in opening up and in sharing the deepest parts of you, you can feel some sort of tension there, right? On the front of the area of our hips, we have all the area of our womb and our femininity, okay? So if we feel accepted, if we feel like men love us or cherish us, right? How comfortable do we feel in our feminine body and who we are? Do we feel enough? We can store a lot of feelings there. So when I wasn't feeling really comfortable, and this is my experience, so please, this is me just sharing this. What I experienced was that when I was younger, I used to have a lot of cramps, okay? A lot of cramps. I was not comfortable in my body. I felt rejected. I even felt ugly. Like, I had all these feelings, so I had a lot of cramps. Like, as the years passed by and I worked on myself, and I did some healings, etc. there, I noticed that I stopped having cramps. Okay, I stopped having cramps because I wasn't hostile with myself anymore in regards to those things. I didn't feel like the world was hostile in regards to my femininity. If I felt accepted, if I felt like people would call me pretty, etc., I start to calm down. It's a little bit different for everybody. Your feelings about sex too can be stored there. Okay, so like I said, if an idea is not adding life, if an idea is not good for you, and for those of you who are joining, I invite you to watch this video from the beginning because it's very enlightening and it's very helpful. I'm glad that this is making sense. So you're saying that you're feeling, yeah, exactly, tight chest and breathing problems. So here's the thing. Our bodies are intelligent. Our minds are also intelligent. The piece with our mind is that our mind most of the time is wired to survive. Okay? Why? Because in these pieces and topics around love, we never really had kind of like a handbook, right? How many of us actually learned of self-esteem, like not like when we were maybe like in high school, right? Or forming years, we had like no sort of like really tangible studies about us being lovable, learning how to love ourselves. Thank God kids nowadays are getting like, meditation practices and all these things that are helping them, right? But we didn't. So storing and keeping those formative years, or when we started to open up and we started to accumulate heartbreak and we didn't know how to address it, we didn't know how to speak up, or maybe our parents didn't know how to support us, it's nobody's fault. What matters is that you are responsible now to heal it. So I have worked with, it's just the body's or the soul's unwillingness to release the pain and the thought. But I want you to get it because it's trying to protect you. Your subconscious is saying, like, if I don't release this shock, if I don't release this, then I am going to be safe because I got to protect myself from something like that happening in the future. But that voice of you that says something doesn't know your real power, right? So it doesn't know your real power to create, because you're a creative being, not a reactive being. Okay? You really are a creative being. You have the power to create something in your love life that is different. Okay? So I help women really, they know their power already in their career and their businesses, etc. I help them really, truly, really build that power in their love life too, and confidently attract the top quality man that they want in their lives, and feel comfortable being around that man. You know, I've helped women, for example, we've worked for months, and then kind of like 4 months in or 5 months in, their man comes in. And because they were working on themselves and they were releasing these things, they had to get used to the energy of having love in their lives, right? And they would kind of freak out when the man was there, and there was this old instinct of wanting to sabotage it, because they have fear still, right? You can't decide when your man is going to come in, but if you do the work, it will definitely accelerate it, right? Like, because you are more trusting, more open, and you're more allowing, right? And you're more in your power. So I help them really fully release that, and then they move on to really happy with their lives, because we got to really train ourselves for this. So somebody here is saying, spot on. When working with oneself, the release technique or the Sedona method are great tools to release emotions, negative energy, even though they don't specifically have a feminine orientation. Sure. So yes, I've heard of the Sedona method. So what I'm saying is that you really want to work with somebody or with a method that really resonates with you at the deepest level of your core. And that also helps you fully release it, but not only just to release it, but also to know your power and how to be assertive and how to allow the top quality man that you want in your life, and how to really radiate that, right? Like having that sort of like that feminine confidence that is just like exquisite, it's exciting, it's magnetic, right? When you really learn to release things, and you learn to open up, you are truly in your feminine energy, right? And that is a really key, important piece that I wanted to address with you today. That's why I said is you have to have the courage to open yourself up to something different. Now, before you do that, I always recommend that you do the healing work that is appropriate for it, right? That is right for you, that you work with somebody that can help you identify what kind of subconscious belief could be there. I work with somebody that she told me, Nicole, I've done everything. And I haven't met my man, and I don't know why. And I started to help her, and we realized that she had a belief. Well, she made a choice when she was probably like 7 years old to not want love, because love for her was unsafe. She saw her parents fighting all the time. So that unconscious choice was blocking her from allowing it. She had, like, let me put it to you in this way, in other terms. She had a bunch of reasons why she didn't want to open up, and her mind made them all right and correct. Okay? So I helped her release those reasons, and she needed to have the willingness to release them. Okay? So that they weren't really affecting her, because they were creating this sort of shield around her where people weren't noticing her, men weren't asking her out. She was disappointed, like she was feeling disappointed. I want you to see, it's not that love is hard. Love is not hard, but a lot of people have the belief that love is hard, that love is painful, that love is going to hurt, right? So what that does is that they create these defense mechanisms, and they're trying to out there, they're, texting, they're doing everything. But you want to first release those beliefs. Don't you want to release those beliefs first? Like, that's what you want to release first, is my best recommendation, right? Like, I hear it all the time. Like, this is overwhelming, right? Or like, nothing works. That's another belief that I have, that I hear from people. And I'm like, well, if you have the belief that nothing works, we want to look at, why do you have that belief? Maybe you believe that there's something wrong with you deep in your unconscious, and that things don't work out for you. So you want to release that. And when you clear those pathways, you open up, right? Like the doors that you had closed in your consciousness, you start to open up, you start to release them. And then out of nowhere, you just attract what you want, and you're like, how did that happen? So don't waste your energy complaining about people. Don't waste it. Complaining blaming, shaming, doubting, criticizing the men that you're meeting. It's not the men. It's you protecting yourself from attracting what you want. That should be a quote. That should be in a t-shirt. It's not the men. It's you protecting yourself because you're that powerful. Okay? So when you really start to know your power, you realize that people will respond to you according to your energy. Hello there, love. So please let me know what is resonating about this. And if you would like to know more about ways in which I can help you too, of course. You know, I've worked with many clients where I've helped them really shift like the way that they saw love and open up like in a couple sessions. Others, it has been months, but it will work for everybody, right? Because I have that certainty and I can help everybody. It's like the universe is trustworthy, right? If you want love, it's meant for you. So let me see what is resonating with everybody, because I did not expect to be here this time, but I'm glad that we're connecting. And I love, 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 love all of the feedback that I'm getting from you guys. I'm incredibly happy and grateful. I prayed for this and I manifested this, manifested this because I was like, oh, I really want my audience to just feel comfortable and opening up and sharing with me. And I'm so excited. Yeah, let me know what is resonating with everybody. So as I wait for the comments or the questions that you have, I want to thank you for being here with me. I always invite you to subscribe to the channel, to leave me questions. I love hearing from you. That's going to help me know how I can best support you. You can subscribe to my gifts that I have here that are like the Beautiful Woman meditation and the Back to the Feminine Essence meditation as well. I'm going to put the links below so that you can also get information from me on your email. Yes, I do. This is my website. So my website is NicoleElisa.com. Sharing it right here. So ladies, I do have 2 programs. One where I'm helping you really fully step in your power, and then the other iteration of my program, Goddess of Love, where I help you really release these things and step into your power and open up total goddess way so that you get to start to attract the top quality man that you want. Tell you the honest truth. I love doing this work. Please get this. It's only been painful for you to release these emotions or to face them because you don't know how, okay? And it's important that you release them. It's not gonna be painful for you to release them. It's actually gonna free you, okay? When your energy is too tied up with survival and trying to protect yourself from something, you don't have kind of like enough space or energy to use like your energy in a creative way to attract what you want with ease and let it be fun and playful, right? There's this quote that says like, an idle ground is like the devil's playground or something like that. So I say it because you're like protecting yourself. That's fear, 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 fear. And the phrase says, what you resist persists. It's up to you to learn how to open up, and you're gonna be free and you're gonna feel good. You're gonna get your health back on track. You're gonna get finances even back on track, because when a woman is open, she's truly magnetic, and she's not open to whatever. She's open and conscious to what she wants, and she lets herself really, truly receive it with ease. Okay, let me just put it here. And okay, here's the link to the website. And if you have any sorts of questions, you can also email me here. So do you have any questions, ladies? Goddess of Love is starting next year, but you have a really in-depth training with me on how to own your power at the beginning of the year. So it starts basically now, like it starts in November, and we're gonna be working up to the end of the year so that next year is the year where you attract your man full on and you're confident. You're really confident in it, okay? Like you deserve that. And I would love to support you with it. And let's see, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to say here. Um, I'm a love coach. I'm a love coach, and I help empowered women truly attract their top quality love and feel confident in their own skin and just really radiate their goddess energy. Because I believe all women are goddesses, like we really are. And you deserve to be loved for who you are, regardless of your background. I also work with women who are already in relationships. And if they want to really truly feel better in their relationships and how to communicate better with their husbands, etc. Yeah, my specialty is helping you truly just attract the one and feel really confident in your power and love. Okay, let me see. Ladies, ask me questions. I would love to know. I would love to know. I would love to be here to support you. I'm having fun here. Do you want me to do a training on feeling your emotions and why it's important to do it and how to release them? No. Okay, here's the email. Here's the other email for you. Let me know. All right. So ladies, please let me know. Yes, I will do that. Noreen, for you to be aware of it, I invite you to subscribe to my channel, into my email list. Okay, so yes, I do. So somebody's asking if I help women heal from childhood trauma. Yes, in many ways I do. So when I say clearing work and all of that, that is helping you truly release that and also helping you really ground yourself in a new version of you and attract the love that you want no matter what. Okay, I do both the healing work and the coaching work. That's why I call it transformational love coaching, because in my case, it wasn't just talking about it. Like I needed both the healing and the mindset. So let's see, ladies, if you have no more questions, for those of you who are interested in working with me, you have the email there. You can send me a message. So it's NICOLE at NICOLEELISSA.com. So it's Nicole Elisa. So you have 2 E's and 2 S, like 2 different like S, because that's how my like second name is written. And I'm excited. I will be doing the training on the importance of actually processing your feelings and like learning to let it go. A part of you kind of needs that story to stay protecting yourself. And that's why even you might be consciously talking about it or saying affirmations, it's like 20% or 10% versus 90%, like 1% of you, conscious awareness of you trying to do everything, right? For you to like have love, but then you have this other 80 or 90% that's like, no way, because and that's what's going on. That's why a lot of people are crashing and burning. They're investing like a lot of money, like in but it's not clicking. You want to really do this work in a way that really supports you. I have been working on this myself lately in many areas where, because I am more accepting of myself and in the areas where I hadn't really fully stepped into it, now I'm starting to see that people are honoring me in those areas. I'm applying this in areas of my business. I'm applying this in other areas, like dealing like with people in general. And it's always fun to see. It's like, hey, ladies, I promise you, it's fun. It's actually fun to see that you have the power to change everything that you're seeing on the outside. You're not trying to control a guy in particular. Like if somebody's not a fit to it, that's fine. But I promise you that the person that is the right fit to your new energy will show up. That way you don't ever have to be jaded, confused, feeling defeated or feeling frustrated with the people that you're meeting, because they kind of sap your energy when you believe that they have power over you. But the truth is that they have no power over you. So you want to really have the stories that really support you to thrive and be happy and phenomenal. Yes, please. I struggle to let go. I feel like my past is ingrained in my DNA. It burns me out. Sure. Yeah. And sometimes it could be DNA, but sometimes it's not. It's just in your body, in your chakras, in your chest, etc. Just releasing it And learning how to not connect with those energies again and learning how to connect with new empowered states of consciousness is going to help you tremendously. Tremendously. That's why it's not just a healing. You also want to really learn how to really kind of rebuild yourself in a way where you can sustain the love that you want. I know that I'm talking to you in higher terms. It's not complicated. I just have an engineering background, and I feel like it's important for me to share the why and how it works. But you don't have to be the one that's doing the building in a way. Like, let me help you. And it's going to be fun. Just stay with the energy of fun and release and peace and what you're going to feel from it and the love that you're going to have. You know, it brings me a lot of joy and happiness to help people have love because we're all worthy of it, and we're all worthy of it now, not in the future, right? And it's up to us to let ourselves be happy. All right. So I would love to help all of you. You have my link and everything. And I would love to support you. For those of you who are interested in Goddess of Love and the program that's starting now, please reach out to me and I will be doing the training for you. Okay. Let me know your comments in the comment section. Take care and have a good night.